Well, hello. I got my strict buns again. I am so happy. I am so freaking happy. And for all you haters out there that hate when I'm happy, I'm still happy. It's full moon day. It's full moon day. What should I call it? Should I call it night? Something like that. But it's a full moon. Bubba's drinking water, so just in case you hear some trickling, you're like, somebody peeing. No, it's Bubba drinking water. I was gonna take these out because it gives me the waviness in my hair, but too late now. I'm just gonna keep it on. What was I gonna say? Oh, I just remember. Okay, check this out. What did I tell you, huh? What did I tell you? What did I tell you? That was my horrible Bobby De Niro impression. There's one thing about this man I cannot get. I can't do Bobby De Niro. I can imitate other people. Like I could totally do John Lennon. I could say for last number you can. This is a good one. For last number, I like to ask your help. For the people in the cheapest seats, clap your hands. And if the rest of you just rattle your jewelry. Well, I like to sing a song called Twist and Shout. Go, Paul. What are you saying? We're not doing that right now. I can imitate people, but I cannot imitate Bobby De Niro. Only when I'm in front of the mirror, I'm like, you talking to me? You talking to me? See, I can't even do that. I can do Al Pacino, though. But I can't do Bobby De Niro. But what did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? So the Orange Walrus now is going on that campaign that I told you guys about. If you saw my other video, I'm wearing a yellow shirt so you can spot it. It's titled OMG Now What? Because that was my reaction when I heard that it was a second attempt on his life, which is complete bullshit. It never even happened. This is twice that he's tried to get the American public to care about his safety, and it's not working. But he's using it now to attack the left, to attack the nice people who just want freedom, love, and peace. And he's saying that we need to stop the rhetoric. We need to stop the hate talking. We need to stop all this, instigating violence. In the words of Forrest Gump, stupid is, stupid does. Hateful is, hateful does. It's as simple as that. I've told you guys many times. Good is good, bad is bad. Good is God, bad is not. So you can save your little comments and your little, It's ridiculous that one man is such an awful, disgusting pig can create so much trouble. But he's in a long leash, a very, very long leash, because any of us would have already been put in prison. But because he talks so much and he can instigate violence quickly, people are not touching him. But I really just want to tell the American public right now. So maybe we can all start writing letters. I don't know. We can start voicing the same opinion. Share this, like it, subscribe. What else? Yeah, and comment. But most of all, share it and like it and subscribe. When are we gonna get rid of this guy? When is it gonna be the stopping point? When do we stop this guy and just arrest him? I mean, he is literally the Joker, and that's not a compliment because I like the Joker. the Joker character from Batman, but still, he is a psychopath and a villain, right? But the fun thing about the Joker is he doesn't want money. This guy does. He doesn't want power. He just wants to burn everything down. Well, this asshole wants money and power, but he also wants to bring everything or burn everything down if it doesn't go his way. So that's what I'm saying. When is it going to be the right time for him to just be put in prison, gagged, basically in solitary? Just put him in solitary, put him in a hole where he cannot hurt anybody else anymore. I mean, we have the biggest troublemaker in the history of this country. I think in the history of the world. This guy is worse than Hitler. He's worse than Hitler. This guy is a sick man who is just spiraling down and getting worse. He's just getting worse. But now, what happens when you let a crazy person just say and do whatever he wants? He's gonna do crazy things. And a lot of them are these, like, faking an assassination attempt. Check out, I think his name is Tom Green. Is it Tom Green? The last name is Green, and the book is called 48 Laws of Power. Read it. He's using every single one of them. The first one is court attention at all times. Little things like that. When I was reading this book, I was like, oh my God, people actually do this kind of stuff? And I read it again because I thought the title was interesting. And in those days, I wanted to become somebody, of importance, And so I went ahead and read it, but it's like some of the stuff is like I could never do. Right? But it's good to inform yourself about what kind of ploys sick people take to control the masses, to control the rhetoric or the news cycle, like this asshole just did. Again, he's trying to erase what happened during the debate, the embarrassment, because nobody could stop talking about it. And in fact, it has been the one thing that, is basically he's losing voters as the days go by, because the memes keep coming and they keep repeating the stupid things that he said, and again, and also the conspiracy theories that grew out of that Kamala had Bluetooth earrings. It's like no. Whatever wrong happened in that debate came out of his fucking mouth. It was nothing that Kamala said. I love Kamala's look when she just again, she set him up, and when she talked about the crowd sizes, and the reporter is trying to go into something else, and he's like, no, I want to talk about the crowd sizes. And as he starts going, Kamala just like, I got you, bitch. I got you. I was like, oh, it's so glorious. And then that other part when she almost called him a motherfucker. This motherfucker. This past president or whatever she called him. But that's what happens when you meet preparation. That's what happens when you're an egotistical idiot who thinks, I'll just wing it. Unprepared. That shows the dedication. Now, Miss K, you saw her dedication. You heard it. Full of confidence because she knows what she's talking about, because she knows what it takes and she knows how government works. This idiot, all the lies that he spews, it is nothing but, it's just stupid shit. Because he doesn't even know how government works. I mean, he didn't even know how NATO worked. And he tells his dumb audiences, that, all this stupid crap that I'm going to stop this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And it's just, It's just these are people who don't even know how government works, and they think that you're just gonna show up and just give orders like, you do this, do that. It's like, fucking idiot. There's 3 branches of freaking government, and all 3 have to check each other. That's why it was created that way. But he's like, that gives him a headache. So he's like, no, when I'm president, we're just gonna take all that away, and just gonna be me who says who's boss. Oh my lord. But like I mentioned before, hate makes you stupid, and it's a scientific fact. If you already checked out that documentary that I told you, I'm gonna tell you the name again. It is called Stress, a Silent Killer. There, and it's done by National Geographic. There, in that documentary, you'll learn how the human body works and the effects of stress on the human body. That literally stress can make us sick, but in the end, it makes us dumb. Because the toxicity that you hold within when you're being negative, when you're being pessimistic, when you're being hateful, it corrodes your whole body. I mean, think about that. That the vial that they're spewing, again, if you squeeze them, you're not going to get orange juice out of them. You're just going to get hate, right? So they're full with it, and they spew it out. It's like, I can't hold it, and you start vomiting this stuff. But they're decomposing from within. I mean, just look at them. It's gross, okay? Hateful people are too dumb to understand that they're actually killing themselves. And doesn't that go right along with how this karmatic system works? That you get what you gave. You want to keep spewing out hateful stuff. You don't want to work on yourself to get rid of that hate. I mean, the first of all, people who hate so much, they have to start asking this question. They're too dumb to do it, but they could ask this question: why am I so hateful? Why do I always feel this way? I don't want to feel this way. I remember that one time I felt happy. So, but this is literally what I noticed while growing up and, becoming a man and whatnot, becoming a grown-up, that people, when they get together, it's like vomit. What is it? Word vomit? They just spew out negativity. And they gather, and one says one to the other, "How you doing?" Same shit, different day. And they start, aren't these kids awful? Aren't the woke awful? Isn't the left awful? And they just back and forth. And I remember having these conversations with some people, and I just feeling drained afterwards. And the thing about it is that these people come around, and it's like, and you can just tell, because you can just tell that they want to talk about something negative. It's like, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Just don't say it at all. I mean, that's what Mama told us, right? But the word vomit has to come out. It's a bad habit that people have, because in order to make conversation, they have to bitch about something, and that's what I'm trying to get at. That's what I'm trying to get at. That when people get together and they start talking, the first thing they do is complain to each other. Aside from talking about the weather, which are this kind of conversations I cannot have with people. But this is why, I don't have many conversations with people. It's like, my kind of conversations are like these. They have deep meanings. It's about, important things that really matter, instead of just complaining, But they have this reflex. People in general have this reflex where if they start talking to somebody, the first thing they do is complain. And then if the other person is resentful, or they relate, oh my God, now you have 2 complainers, and then there's 3, and then there's 4, and then there's 5, and they don't know but they're killing themselves. Really, literally. They're rotting from within and slowly killing themselves. And then they go to the doctor, and the doctor says, well, you got this. And they go, well, that's what happens when you get old. No! It's not what happens when you get old. It's what happens when you just keep introducing negativity into your system. Now, again, I keep saying, think about that. What is God? God is love. God is peace. Are these people in peace? Are these people feeling love? No. So what's happening really? It's almost as if you have this crystal temple and you just start smearing all kinds of shit all over the place, making it look like crap. Now, do you have that godly pristinity anymore? That holy cleanliness? No, it's gone because you did it yourself. You decided, you know what? This is so too nice. It needs a little bit of decorations, and they start adding all their crap, breaking the walls because everything is crystal, right? Breaking it, smashing things and just getting it all messy. Okay, now I'm happy. Really? You're happy? So what I'm trying to say here is that we, as God's children, we are of a pristine nature, but the habits that sometimes we pick up eliminates all that cleanliness, all that wonderful, radiant environment that it is the inside of your body, your temple. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, why are you doing that to yourself? Maybe it's the fact that you don't value yourself that much. Maybe it is the fact that, well, since you don't value yourself, you don't value anybody else, and that's where it starts. That is like, I'm a piece of shit, so everybody else is a piece of shit. It's like those people who say that they can't trust anybody, because they don't trust themselves. And it's those kind of people who say that everybody's a crook, everybody lies. No, you lie. Everybody cheats. No, you cheat. You know what I mean? These people who are so sure about how life works. No, it doesn't work that way. And these people who are saying that, again, it's just because they're too dumb. They're way too far in the decomposition part that's all it's coming out. Again, if you squeeze them, you're not going to get orange juice. You're not going to get apple juice. You're not going to get even a nice like the Pillsbury Doughboy. No, you're going to get vile. You're going to get hate. You're going to get negativity because that's within them. Stupid is as stupid does. Hateful is as hateful does. So for them to keep saying that we're the ones responsible for him almost getting killed, which never happened, but he's just doing it to instigate violence because he wants his people, his followers, to start some shit, just like he did back in January 6th. Now we've seen him in action. We know what they can do. I don't want to say this counterattack and stuff like that, but it's like their actions speak louder than their words. They could, but this is the game of the narcissists, the psychopaths. That if you say, well, I don't do that because I'm a good person, but then they'll do something to themselves, or they'll say something that would really get you to say something back to them. Oh, and you're a nice person. And that's how it starts. They start with the back and forth, and that's what I'm saying. There's no point in debating these assholes. There's no point in debating these pricks. They're pigs who like to roll in their own feces, and they're happy about it. So don't get in the muck with pigs. You know what I mean? Excuse me. That leads me to the pristine nature of our spirit. You've heard of what the Merkaba is, right? This is this energetic field that you have around you. The more pristine you are, meaning the more loving you are, the more this Merkaba expands. Now, here's the kicker. Here's the good part, I should say. The more feminine energy you carry, the more this Merkaba becomes a Bubble. This is why all saints, or for instance Jesus, is always pictured with a bubble. You know, again, it's just symbols that the painters or the artist plays there to symbolize that. You know, to symbolize an expansion of consciousness. You know what I mean? But again, the more feminine energy you carry, the more you get to do that. So what is happening right now with these, incels, complaining that, oh, Trump is our guy because they want to make us gay. Nobody's trying to make you gay. And you being so threatened by that, it makes you into a pussy. I mean, honestly, look at me. But I have long hair and I can do this. Why? Because I like it. Doesn't make me anything, just but a person who just has a different hairstyle. And hairstyles come and go. Like I said, in 1995, I was wearing the Beatle look, the mop top, and people were laughing at me and whatnot, even though just, 30 years before that, people were just, everybody, all the kids were wearing it, right? But then what happened after that? 10 years later, all the kids were wearing it again. Nobody was laughing then, because now everybody had gotten the nerve to wear that. But I did it when I wasn't even in. And again, it is because it's like, I don't want to look like another number, like another statistic, like just another one of the bunch, I do what I do because it's an expression, and because I believe that, again, as many laughters as I've had, many fashions that I wore, this is just another fashion. This is just another way of expressing myself. And in fact, maybe this came back from another lifetime. But either way, I'm expressing myself. I'm letting my spirit drive this train. And I'm happy. And these people hate it. And that's why they want to stop all of us from expressing ourselves. Because they can't do it. Because they're cowards and because they don't know how to do it. They're too dumb to understand it. Again, hate makes you dumb. And how do you know? Look at their actions. Hate corrodes your body. How do we know? Look at them. It's as simple as that. So for them to think that their little faction, the little minority, is going to all of a sudden take over and just, again, put all of us under slavery, because that's really what they want. They just want their power back. These are the people who slaved us all, the original tribes of this world. They slaved us all. They went around colonizing the whole world, and what did they do? They literally exterminated a lot of us. A lot of nations were exterminated. A lot of nations were destroyed. They took the resources and they made themselves into kings. They said, we are the descendant of the gods, when the descendants of the gods are black people. They are the closest to those progenitors that humanity have here on earth. We're all spirits, but these bodies were the work of people from the stars. Okay? Ningishira, who is Thoth, who is Hermes, who is Mercury, who is the scribe of the gods, said so, and communicated it to Jumbalu Melchizedek, the guy who wrote the Flower of Life. And in this channeling, he said, these people come from Mars. These people came onto this plane to throw everything off. They just showed up and they decided to take over because they didn't know any better. We are God's children and we're peaceful people. That's the difference. Think about it. Again, like I said yesterday, when I heard that they were from Mars, I was like, okay, that's crazy. But then you look at the evidence, then you look at history, and you go, oh my God, yes, these people don't behave like we do. A lot of us just want peace. Yesterday I told you that when black people got their freedom, these assholes thought they're going to rise against us. And when you are a piece of shit, yes, you should be afraid. But then what happened? Absolutely nothing. Because black people just want to live in peace. Just like all the other races. Okay? Now, again, I keep specifying that I'm not necessarily talking about white people, because there's a lot of beautiful white people out there. I mean, the Beatles were white, right? But again, maybe these alien beings just decided to take on the appearance of the people who they thought looked the best in their eyes, because again, they're judgmental as F, so they don't know any better, and again, they just decided, okay, we're just gonna take on the appearance of these people, and they have been mixing in our numbers, pretending that they're decent people, but they're a bunch of psychopaths, because it's not in them. It is not in them. And why do I say that? Pancho, you sound like you're, asking for a revolution and just to take down all these people. No, I'm not asking for that. Like I said, I'm saying don't give them an inch. That these people do not belong in government. These people do not belong in your surrounding area, because all they do is cause trouble. They're untalented, ungifted, and unproductive. So why do we keep them around? And they're the ones who want to kick everybody out. Think about that. If they're such Christians as they call themselves, because again, they made themselves into Christians, so everybody thinks that they're right, like they did back in centuries ago with the, think about the burnings in Salem. They just decided, we're on the side of God and you're all evil, you're all witches, so we're all gonna burn you. The Holy Inquisition, we are the ones on the side of God, and we say that you are against God, and we are going to punish you. You know how many people were tortured, punished? Just the cruelty. The cruelty, again, that's not human. Now, yesterday, and you noticed that I was just crying for everything, right? It was a cleansing day, and I think it's the moon doing it like this. It awakes the feminine, the divine feminine within me, which is my nature. Mentakan. So, by the way, if you don't know, Mentaka is the third star in Orion's belt. Third star to the right. I like to say that because Peter Pan says, it's the second star to the right. And that's on to Neverland, So I say third star to the right in Orion's belt. That's Mentaka. And Mentaka was a planet that had a feminine consciousness. So when these horrible beings, yes, and I'm talking, this could be the same people, when they showed up and then destroyed my original planet, because it's what they do. It was easy for them because we were all a bunch of girls, basically. We all had a feminine consciousness. We didn't want to hurt anybody. So when you think about it, these people have been doing this all across the universe. Coming in and throwing everything off. Coming in and destroying everything. Coming in and destroying all the people that live in that planet. Coming in and enslaving all the people that live in that planet, like here on Earth. And why would they pick on black people? Especially, just dig into them. Hebrew people. And I say Hebrew because I don't like the word Jew, because the word Jew has been used by a lot of racist people. So I don't mean to be incorrect in me calling Hebrew people Hebrew, because it's a Hebrew nation. They were a tribe. They're still a tribe, just like the Maya, just like the African tribes, just like the Hindu tribes, just like the Asiatic tribes, the Nordic tribes. We were all tribes, and we were all God people. We are still all God people, because that love for one another has not vanished, even though these people just keep getting in there and starting friction, basically. They are the resistance against human progress. But just like when you lift weights, you need resistance to grow stronger. And these people know this. And just like I told you before about, this relation or this comparison that I made with the movie A Bug's Life. Yes, I'm referring to a kid's movie, but I love Pixar movies. I mean, who doesn't love Pixar movies? I mean, they're so full of heart. And if you don't find yourself crying or, cheering in the middle of a Pixar movie, there's something wrong with you. But in this movie, they explain the relationship between the grasshoppers, the abusers, the slavers, this foreign entity that just comes in and just destroys everything, and the ants, the hardworking, loving people who just like to work together to make everybody happy, right? What do they say about that? The grasshoppers were saying, these ants outnumber us 10-1, and if they figure it out, our way of life is over. They got the guns, but we got the numbers. You know what I mean? So, in essence, what I'm saying is that do not be afraid of these morons. They're too moronic to even understand that they're working against themselves. They might enjoy cruelty, but that doesn't make them winners, and that doesn't make them strong. Yesterday, as I told you, I was crying a lot. I was on the verge of it, right, during my videos, right? And then I watched this video on the atrocities committed against black people here in the United States in 1863. This is after the Civil War. You know why they made black people free in those days? Because the Union Army was getting their ass kicked. Black people literally won that war. And then, because all these racist bastards, they had just lost, and they thought, no, absolutely not. We can't have these black people running around and whatnot. They went and put them in a hole. Literally, a hole. It's called a punch bowl. They put them in there. But you never hear about that concentration camp. I wonder why. Maybe because they didn't have light-skinned people? They put them in a hole to their own devices. People would die, and they were just laying around because there was no. They would beg the people that put them there, hey, there's dead people here, but what do we do with them? They just threw down some shovels. Well, they were too weak. They didn't have food. They didn't have anything, so they were too weak to make holes. So the bodies were just piling up. Those bodies seeped into the ground, when the floods would come in, with that hole would fill with water and whatnot. They're still finding skeletons floating up. And all the peaches that were born or that have grown out of those trees in the surrounding areas, people don't want to eat them because they know where that comes from. This is why Billie Holiday used to sing a song called Strange Fruit. Now when I hear that name, Strange Fruit, it makes my blood boil. Because they came after one of us, a part of our brotherhood that has been just tortured for centuries. And they did that all around the world, but no, it's black people and Hebrew people have been really getting the worst of it. And that's not to discount, what happened to, the Native Americans and stuff like that, because it was the same. But it's this insane, savage energy coming after just black people and Hebrew people. There's something to it. And again, I relate it to the fact that they were the ones closer to the gods. I don't know. Maybe the Hebrews kept the spiritual books, and I don't know. I'm just digging into the evidence that I know, but I have a feeling that it is because of that. Because black people were direct descendants of the ancient gods. And again, Ningisira, Thoth, Hermes. He told us about that. And he told Drumbalum Melchizedek. And Drumbalo wrote it down in that book, The Flower of Life. And Drumbalo also spoke about the Merkaba, about this auric field that we hold, and how that this auric field becomes stronger with love, because that's our nature, with feminine energy, because that is all we're missing. So that's the Shrek buns. Because every time I get closer to my feminine side, I get happier. You know? And these people went and twisted it. And these people have been chasing people who have feminine traits because they qualify them as weak. But at the same time, it is because it's just, again, another one of their ploys that is like, we can't let them express themselves. We can't let them go into nature and recharge, because their spirits will get stronger. They'll be able to receive divine messages, and they'll get too smart, and they'll know exactly what's happening, like what is happening now. In the past, they were able to dominate us, but because we are in the times that we have been illuminated. And yeah, the word woke just means being awake. We are awake out of the sleep that they put us in. We were sedated by these people with their lies, with their gaslighting, and this is why everybody walks around so confused. They have been muddling the waters for ages. They destroyed our history so they could just influence our history. They destroyed all of our monuments so we didn't have a spiritual base. And without a spiritual base, you don't get communication from the divine. Think about what they did with the Native Americans. They cut their hair. And now, if people see me with long hair, they oh, faggot. It's like, whatever, dude. I mean, you obviously been under a rock ever since the 60s, ever since forever. Because cutting your hair as a man, that means you're a slave. So whenever I see my Mexican brothers, in the middle of a peluqueria, just getting buzz cut, and like, brother, what the hell are you doing? They changed us. They changed our customs. The other, when I was working in a background, in this, it was a Liz Taylor story with, what's her name? Redheaded, beautiful girl from Mean Girls. Well, you guys know who I'm talking about. She was playing Liz Taylor. And we were outside on a break, they were filming some scenes inside. It was a beautiful home. They do a lot of movies in that home, because it's a gorgeous home. And we were just outside talking. And these guys were complaining about coyotes and about possums and how they were scared of them. Now, I just looked at them and said, brothers, seriously, you guys? Because they were all Mexican. They were all Latinos. And I said, we used to be so close to nature. And now you're all sitting here just being afraid of it. Who put that fear inside you? Who put that fear in your heart? And it reminds me too of what I've heard in Apocalypto. What does the father says to his son? He was scared after he saw these I think somebody dead or something. They have leprosy or something like that, and all of a sudden the kid was freaked out. And the dad noticed and said, extract that from your heart. Get it out. It doesn't belong in you. So it makes you wonder, who brought fear into the Americas? Who brought chaos and disorder and pain and suffering to the Americas? To all the places of the world? Who brought fear onto this planet? Because if we're godly people, if we're God's children, which is clearly that we are, and we're full of love, there's no place for fear. It's the opposite. So who brought it here? Exactly. So what I'm saying is that don't succumb to fear. That's what they want. The power of love is so much greater, because that puts you in a high vibration, and in fact puts you above all these fools. And that's not to say that you're better. I'm saying that you're more powerful that way. Take it easy, lemon squeezy.